This week on Inside Boulder News, the emerald ash borer has a tiny new enemy in town. The Gregory Canyon access road and trailhead reopen after the 2013 flood, and summertime brings visitors of all kinds to Boulder. Welcome to Inside Boulder News. I'm Ashley Prill. In the fall of 2013, the city of Boulder discovered emerald ash borer within city limits. Emerald ash borer is a non-native tree pest that's responsible for the death of tens of millions of ash trees in the United States. Since the discovery, the city of Boulder has worked with CU, the Colorado Department of Agriculture, and other agencies to manage the spread of the insect. As part of the multifaceted management approach, more than 1,000 stingless parasitic wasps that target emerald ash borer are being released in the city over the next 4 weeks. This is the second time the city has used this approach.
This newest species, Oobius, will lay its eggs inside the egg of an emerald ash borer, which has some different advantages to the one we released last fall, Tetrasticus. One of the advantages is that Tetrasticus seeks out emerald ash borer larvae, which are already inside the tree and doing the damage. This newest wasp, Oobius, lays its egg inside the egg of emerald ash borer, which remains on the bark of the tree, so it's able to stop emerald ash borer before it actually begins doing any of its major damage inside the tree.
It's important to note that these tiny wasps aren't interested in people or pets, and they also can't sting you.
These wasps really only attack emerald ash borer. They're only interested in finding emerald ash borer. Their life cycle completely depends on emerald ash borer. So that's all they're seeking, and as mentioned before, they don't possess a stinger. They're not capable of stinging.
As anticipated, emerald ash borer are spreading quickly throughout Boulder. City staff urge residents to learn how to identify the ash trees on your property, as well as signs of EAB infestation.
An ash tree that's been affected by emerald ash borer will typically begin to decline from the top down. The insects typically attack the crown first. It's common to see miniaturized leaves in parts of the tree. Often one particular large limb or lead first will show signs. And essentially what's happening is the borers have infested, the small larvae have infested a branch and begun to cut off the circulation in that branch, so all the leaves on the end of that branch are no longer getting the nutrients or water they need, and they can't develop correctly. As a infestation increases on a particular tree, you'll start to see those symptoms work their way lower into the tree.
EABboulder.org has updated maps of where emerald ash borer has been detected in the city of Boulder, as well as different strategies for protecting and treating your trees. For help making the best decisions, the website also has a list of licensed certified arborists. After completing significant flood rebuilding work, Open Space and Mountain Parks reopened the Gregory Canyon access road and trailhead last week. Both the access road and the Gregory Canyon trailhead sustained severe damage in the 2013 flood.
When floods came down the Gregory Canyon, they ripped apart the road and caused significant damage to the trailhead, making it unsafe for visitors. And so as part of our flood recovery effort, we've certainly prioritized projects in order to get people back onto the land. And so Gregory Canyon trailhead and the access road, we slightly delayed that project in order to allow Boulder County to rebuild Flagstaff Road. And so now that we've reopened it, it was about a good 4-month, 5-month process to get this project completed. And now we're super excited that people have a much more easy opportunity to connect with trails in the Flagstaff and Chautauqua area.
Since the flood, OSMP has completed 112 recovery projects, but there's still a long way to go.
About 60 projects are still on the drawing board, so there's work still ahead, and we're working towards completing these projects, in addition to completing some of the big departmental priorities we have right now. Those include the North Trail Study Area Plan, the Agricultural Resources Management Plan, and the implementation of projects that were included in the West Trail Study Area Plan.
With the flood creating an added workload, volunteers have played a critical role in helping OSMP improve its system.
In the wake of the floods, I know that we've had at least 76 volunteer projects to help us rebuild trails, restore agricultural fencing, restore our landscapes, and improve our water delivery systems. So without their help, we would have so much more work to tackle. It's really been incredibly overwhelming for me personally, and then I think for the staff broadly, just to see the level of generosity displayed by our community in the wake of the floods.
If you want to get your hands dirty and help out this summer, there are several upcoming volunteer opportunities, including farming projects, forestry projects, seed collection projects, and trail building projects. For a complete list, visit osmp.org. Summertime in Boulder attracts visitors of all kinds. Recently, we saw proof of that when a moose checked out the nightlife on Pearl Street and a video of a mountain lion through a glass door in a Boulder backyard went viral. Although these two encounters may be unusual, wildlife sightings in the city are relatively common.
For some species, we see the same activity or thereabouts in the summer as we do throughout the year. For example, mountain lions. Sightings in town are fairly common, and we get a few reports every month of a mountain lion walking through town. Good reminder too is coyotes in the area. We get consistent sightings in town, and we hope that coyotes maintain their natural fear of people, but they can become habituated either to feeding or just getting really too used to people. And when they lose that natural fear of people and just get really used to hanging around, it's important to call it in and let folks know so we can pay a little bit more attention and prevent any bite or serious conflict between people and coyotes.
Before it gets to the point where you need to call something in, there are ways to help prevent an encounter with a wild animal.
So we have a fortunate, amazing location in Boulder with natural areas surrounding us. And a really important aspect of coexisting with wildlife is ensuring we're not drawing them into the urban area. So what I mean by that is making sure that there's not unnatural food sources available for wildlife, like pet food left out or trash that's unsecured. Because if we have these unnatural food sources available to wildlife, it's not only unhealthy for the animals, but it draws them in and increases the likelihood of conflicts with people.
If you do happen to encounter wildlife, like a bear in your backyard, call the Boulder Police at 303-441-3333. If you want to report coyote behavior or another animal that you've seen and it isn't an immediate concern, you can call Valerie Matheson directly at 303-441-3004. For additional information, visit boulderwildlifeplan.net. Police officers, City of Boulder employees, and community members took part in a coast-to-coast relay to support the Special Olympics this week. On Tuesday morning, the crowd helped to carry the Flame of Hope from Athens, Greece, through Boulder for a segment of its journey across the country. The Special Olympics Unified Relay Across America began in Washington, D.C. and will end when the flame reaches L.A. on July 10th for the kickoff of the Special Olympic Games. To experience one of the country's best 4th of July celebrations, according to Travel and Leisure, you'll want to head to the Boulder Reservoir this Saturday for the Star-Spangled Splash. An affordable option for the entire family, the event kicks off at 10 a.m. Entry includes an ice cream treat, and there will be live music, free face painting, tumble bubbles, community sailing demos, and Rocky Mountain paddle demos. You can buy tickets at all 3 recreation centers and the reservoir. Ralphie's Independence Day Blast, Boulder's 4th of July fireworks show at Folsom Field, is the place to be once the sun goes down. Gates open at 8 p.m. and admission is free. Fireworks will begin as soon as it's dark, which is approximately 9:40 p.m. Since there's no event parking available on campus, free hop and buff bus services will be provided from downtown city parking garages and the 29th Street Mall to Folsom Field and back. The fireworks are sponsored by the Associates of Right Kingdom Real Estate, and you can get all the details at WKRE.com. Thank you for watching Inside Boulder News. Stay in touch with us on Facebook and Twitter by submitting news tips and questions. You can also sign up to receive video updates right in your inbox. Just go to boulderchannel8.com and click on subscribe.